Welcome to the Dog Mystic Show. My mission is to keep dogs in their forever home by teaching people how to train their dogs without treats and to get and keep themselves and animals healthy. It's so important. So my tip for today is, if you know that you work insane hours and you could be gone for about like 12 hours a day, then really think about getting a dog, because honestly, it's not fair. It's not fair to that dog, because dogs are pack animals. They see us, if we're the ones who are domesticating them. So they want to be a part of the family. And if you're gone for 12 hours, then get a dog walker, have a family or friend that can come over and walk the dogs. But really think about purchasing a dog. That's why there's so many dogs in a rescue or that get abandoned or turned in, because the people just don't realize the responsibility of having a dog. It's just like having a child. You can have a cat, and it's so much easier to, leave the cat for a longer period of time. But dogs are just like children. They have the same mentality, but they need the stimulation, they need the love, they need the affection. They're angels placed on this earth to just bring us as much love as possible. So they want to be a part of the family, and they want that attention. So please just think about it. Just don't be spontaneous, especially if you have a crazy schedule, because it's not fair to the dog. So that's my tip for today. I am so excited to bring on Amanda Brock, and she has been using Kangen Water with her animals, and she has an amazing story with a dog that he has healed perfectly while using the water. So give me one moment. I'm going to bring her on, and let's see.
Aloha.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. So good to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Sherry.
Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you, definitely.
It's a pleasure. Cool.
So how long have you been giving your animals the Kangen water?
So our machine got hooked up last December 11th of last year. So not very long. And I have to tell you, everything has just been so elevated and just amazing. Just so impressed, going from being a hard skeptic, like there's no machine that can do what nature can do better than nature, to like using it every day for all the things, just like, what can't this machine do?
Yes, that's the exciting thing. It can do so much, so much. And I mean, so if you started in December, do you see any differences with and what animals do you have?
So I have Fanny here, is a Catahoula leopard dog, and she's crossed with Timber Wolf and a little bit of Pit. Which, by the way, I love your tip of the day, because we did buy a golden retriever when I was a little girl, and we had all the time in the world to take care of her. But I am into rescuing dogs, and so Fanny is a rescue from just close family that had big litters of puppies. So she came for free, basically.
Bring her closer so we can see her, because she's not in the screen, and especially
Here's Fanny.
A wolf.
Wait a minute.
A wolf breed? Oh my goodness.
She is. Yeah, she's Catahoula leopard dog crossed with Timber Wolf Pit. She's a little sleepy
Oh,
right now, I guess. Huh, Fanny? She's decided to
how
be very different over
cool.
the interview. Oh, it's my baby. And then here's Snoopy. Yeah, he's a beagle. He is Beagle, Akita, Dingo, Ridgeback, crossed with Beagle, Chow Chow, Chihuahua, Pug, Bloodhound.
See, that's the thing with like, the DNA. Sometimes it's perfect. Sometimes it's just where did he get this from?
I know. If I didn't meet his dad, I lived with his dad for a little bit and mom, I wouldn't know what to think. His dad is pretty special too.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing your puppies.
Oh, thanks for your curiosity. Of course, that's what we're all here about. I have to say though, we have my brother has kind of halfway moved back in because he is in residency, actually going for a fellowship, a radiology fellowship in New York. Since we're here in New Jersey, about an hour south of his apartment, he wants to be close to us, and he's got 2 cats. And Walter and Weasley, they're just the greatest. They're such characters. And so they pretty much stay here with us, and we kind of take care of them when he has to be up at his apartment to be on call and stuff. And before we started giving them the water, we were giving Fanny and Snoopy the water totally, because once the machine got hooked up, my babies were definitely getting the Kangen water along with me. And then, that started happening. So it occurred to me, they're drinking water too. Let's give the cats the water. They should definitely not be drinking tap water if we're not. And before I started doing that for them, they had actually been coming up on the counter to where we have the discharge catch underneath the machine to catch the discharge acid water. And they were just drinking that. They were just like hopping into the sink and just lapping up the water. And my dad and my brother kept noticing, they're like, I think these cats like the acid water. And I'm like, well, that's because we're only offering them tap water. What happens if we offer them the actual alkaline Kangen water? And so I've been doing that now. I put 2 bowls of 9.5 out for them every day, and they just go right for it. They even like wash their paws in it. And so it's just like the real life version of, I've seen so many videos of people doing tests where they'll put tap water in one bowl and the Kangen water in another, and like do a blind test, let their dog run up and drink water, and the dog always goes for the Kangen water. And it's like, of course, animals know, their sense of smell is so much better than us. And so it's cool to see that happen here too.
Yes. And I mean, I've heard that a cat's pH balance is a little bit more acidic than a dog. So one thing that you can do is put out the 3 bowls.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Whether it's the or actually you can do 4 bowls, because you can do the 7.0, which is just like clean water. 7.0, then you can do the 8.5, 9, and 9.5 and see which ones they actually go to. And then you can base it on that.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Thank
it's
you for
very
that.
interesting.
There's so many experiments that we try, like it's multiple experiments a day with the machine. It's so fun.
Yes, it's great. It's so fabulous. So tell me about the story with the
Callie
other
is
dog.
the dog. So she, I think it was early February, late January, was officially diagnosed with osteosarcoma. The same thing that we actually had a foster named Rocky, who's a big pit bull mastiff boxer mix, for the last 6 years, I want to say. So he must have been like 10, 11, maybe even more. And he passed. We ended up having to euthanize him because it was just too traumatic for him to even move around and live anymore. But he lived a great life with us. Unfortunately, I didn't ever get to give him the water. But this dog, Callie, is also very special and near and dear to my heart, because another foster or rescue, actually, kind of like these guys, just my friends had puppies, and I said, okay, I'll take one. They gave me an absolute wonder dog, changed my life. I will never forget. Aiko is the most special man I've ever met. Absolute, like, didn't need to be trained at all. He knew what I wanted him to do. I would just think it or look at him, and he was just right there all the time. And he had so much energy and spunk. Very, very cool, amazing dog too. He tragically got hit by a car one day when it was raining when I lived out in California. And I guess just let him out in the morning with his Malamute friend a little bit too early, and maybe a deer crossed the road or something, and he ran after it. But his sister came here to New Jersey, where I'm living now. And so big sister, has outlived him and been my last, like, final link to him, because all the other puppies are scattered all over California. And so I get to see her. She's growing up on an organic farm with my great friends. And when that started happening to her leg, she was limping and stuff. And then she got diagnosed. My friends immediately reached out to me because they had been seeing me post and share about the water. And so they were asking if I thought it could help her. And so we met that night, and I loaded them up with a few like gallon glass jugs for them to get her started. The next day, they decided, though, that, her leg is already pretty bad, so we're going to remove the leg too. And so once she got out of the hospital, it was February 4th. She started drinking the water immediately. And her suture, when I came to see her, the incision was very red, very purple and painful looking. And of course, she was resting because she was on meds and had to recover. So after about, I think, a week or two, she was getting up by herself, and the incision was getting less bruised. The bruising was fading. And then I think 2 weeks in, she was able to go to the bathroom by herself. And now I think it's been a month, a little bit more. And she's even she's racing around the backyard. She has such great energy. She's like back to herself again, just as a tripod. So it's cool to see how, dogs in general are super tough. And she's definitely a super tough Callie Butterstuff, Princess Callie Taliti. She's an amazing dog. And so to be able to have the opportunity just to give her, the boost that she could use to bounce back that much faster is just so rewarding for me, especially because of the closeness that she is to my heart. And yeah, it's been cool to share with the family too, and they're drinking the water and just loving it. And what else can I say about Callie?
That's
She comes to
amazing, though.
me.
That's
Yeah,
so
when I
amazing
open
that she just bounced back with no problems whatsoever. And was just like, all right, I'm accepting this, and this is perfectly fine. And let's do this. Come on. I need to be running around and getting back to my old self. I mean, they're
yeah.
resilient. They're totally, totally resilient. And it's just it's
It's
putting that
incredible because
focus.
we don't tend to be like that. So to see that, I mean, at first you could see she was a little like, what is this? They took my leg for the first couple of days. And then, yeah, it's just like you said, she just bounced back to she's already running, racing around the backyard after the other dogs, barking at them, barking at everybody, doing her job, when to come in because she's the farm dog. And she guards her chickens. And it's such a cool thing to see a dog be able to live and not just live, and last with the family after facing such a horrible, scary for some prognosis to she's back to herself. She's good.
Mm-hmm. She's got a job to do, and she knows that that's what she's not giving up. She's not giving up, and all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
And the main thing with this water is the 2.5 pH is amazing for cuts and bruises, and because it's an antibacterial, it's an antifungal.
And
So
it's the best antibacterial. My mom, like I said, we have the cats for my brother, so she's the one who mainly takes care of them. She pets them a lot and gets scratches sometimes. She got a scratch the other day, and I immediately said, Mom, here, take the 2.5 and spray your cut. I think it was like a few hours later, it was like red and it was starting to itch her. So I'm like, here, spray that 2.5 on it. And she's been using that and she's totally fine. And it's like, wow, we only need like water? Really? Because cat
It's
scratches, I'm sure you
so
know, can
amazing.
be gnarly.
So amazing. And that's another thing with the animal's sense of smell is so much stronger than ours. So any of the chemicals that we're using, like like any of the kind of chemicals that you are using in the house, just to clean or to, especially like cleaning the floors. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing, because the 11.5, you can use it to like degrease the floors, and um you can use the 11.5 to, at first, for like the first mop, and then the 2.5 to really like disinfect like everything, so there's no
Mhm.
chemicals whatsoever.
Right. And
And
then if you want to polish it, you just go ahead with the 6.
right.
It's like perfect. How does it get any better than that?
It's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous and amazing. And it's just safe. It's safe for the pets. It's safe for, they're not inhaling it. They're not going to, like, their paw pads, they can absorb, those chemicals can get absorbed into their paw pads. So
And
it
us
could
too.
burn their paw pads. It can like
Yeah.
hurt their nose, because they're so much closer to the floor and to the chemicals.
Yeah.
So it's there's benefits. There's so many benefits, no matter what.
Endless.
To
I used to think about that all the time too when my mom used to clean because like I said, she's Puerto Rican, she likes everything super clean, and before this she was using bleach and Fabuloso and the 409, and it used to kill me. I would like do this and be like, "Mom, it smell like, please stop." And she didn't have anything else that she was conditioned to accept as useful. And so since having this machine, I'm breathing so much easier, for, not just for me, but for the dogs. Because I'm like, yeah, like I don't want to walk with my bare feet after you do that. Imagine the dogs, they're sticking their nose right in it. So it's
Mhm.
real.
So what? Like, she has totally switched from using Fabuloso and everything to just using
Yeah.
the water to clean.
Yeah, so I moved back in after about a decade, a little more, on Northern California as an organic farmer. I rent was just too much, and the fires were just getting closer and worse every year. And my mom and dad were like, "You can just move in with us. You don't have to pay rent. You can bring your dogs." And so they got to meet Rocky, the foster, actually, which was really nice. He had a friend before he passed on, and I was helping, nudging my mom to like use more natural cleaners. So that was nice. She was receptive to it as long as they worked. And
Right.
so once the water came in, I was like, Mom, look, here's the deal with the 2.5 hypochlorous acid. It's the active ingredient in bleach. You can use the 11.5 to do laundry. And I am just so impressed. Every time she wants to do laundry, which is every weekend and sometimes more, she's like, can I get in there? Can I get the 11.5 and fill the jugs? And she just goes and does the laundry with the water. And I'm like, I thought I was going to be the only one doing that. But now we don't even have to buy the jugs of laundry detergent for you anymore. My dad doesn't have to carry them in from Costco. That's like a whole thing of the past, gone with the wind. We just have it on tap. This is amazing. And then, yes, she saw me scrub her shower because we have the Anespa also upstairs in her shower. So I shower in there a lot. So I'll clean it when I start to see the grout getting gritty and stuff. And she saw the effect that it had up there. And she was like, wow, I used the 6.0 on the glass to clean it too. And she was like, okay, wow. So we can replace anything Windex. And now she uses the 11.5 to degrease the stove, everything. She just uses the water for everything now. So I'm super proud of her for embracing it the way she has.
Being open and like, okay, I'll try and see. I'm gonna, especially like, a Latin mom is
Yes,
is Latin. I'm half
you
Italian, half
probably.
Latin, so it's more or less like, the same thing. So
Mhm.
it's like, I'll put this to the test because I don't believe it whatsoever. So let's see.
Exactly.
really, you know. And I mean, like, the less amount of plastics that we the less amount of plastics that we use is so important, because it's killing the universe, it's killing so many um so many animals, so many sea life, and
Yeah.
it's just
It's
not
got to
safe at
go.
all.
And that's a big part of my mission and joining eMagic and being a distributor is like, look, there's a solution. Like if everybody had a machine, we would no longer need not just plastic bottles to drink our water in, which was a horrible idea to begin with, but the plastic packaged pesticides, the everything, the cleaning products like we were talking about, the beauty products, the shampoo, all that stuff. We can just use water. And that discovery had me full send, like putting it on blast on my social media and all that because people got to know. And it used to kill me growing up that people are so wasteful. And then to come to find out that more than 90%, 80, 90% of plastic is not recycled anyways. It just ends up in the landfill or worse out in the environment really just had me. And so to have this opportunity, this blessing, just like say, okay, like we don't have to do that anymore. I'm just like, okay, I see my work cut out for me. I'm here to shout it off the mountaintops and get it into every home I possibly can.
And what's so cool is that, like, behind you, as you were talking about that, like the sun is shining in, so you're shining your light to just
Yeah, emanate
we
the new
are shining,
frequency.
we're shining our light to just empower the water, and just teach people how important it is to just.
To embrace sustainability. It's like so accessible now. It's like there's no excuses.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I mean, was that what got you into the business? Was
Okay,
like
so interesting story because I'm also a raw foodist. And so for even when I saw, I was following the water priestess, Jilly Torres, and watched her amazing healing journey. I just loved her message that she was sharing about natural law and the water codes. And I was like, okay, she's really cool. Like, I don't know if I need the water thing, but like this, she's really cool. And then I watched her building her empire and raising, uplifting women like us, like dark skinned, curly haired into legacy wealth. And I'm like, okay, the world needs this too. And so I kept watching her until, like I said, rent was getting really pricey on California. And so I moved back in with mom and dad. And I did not want to go back and into the 9 to 5 world, 12 years of trying to run into the woods and be a farmer and escape all that. I was like, there's no way. I know I'm not cut out for that. So I refuse. And even though I'm going broke, like I'm starting to see the end of my barrel of savings, I'm seeing the bottom of the barrel. I'm just going to throw it out to the universe and trust that the next thing is going to come for me. And I know I am a student of Esther Hicks' law of attraction for years. And so I decided I need to just live my dreams and be happy. I'm going to get a surfboard, couple surfboards, couple wetsuits. And I just started learning how to surf, which was like my ultimate dream. And just being charged on that electric water all the time, my frequency was so high. I was just trusting. I'm like, I'm loving my life right now. I don't need a job. I'm blowing through my savings. Like there's only a few $1,000s left, but like, I know it's going to be fine. Sure enough, I started asking the universe specifically for something that could help me help people achieve their best health, but also be sustainable and also be sustainable. And at the same time would allow me the freedom that I wanted to continue surfing, to continue gardening and all that. And so, of course, that sounds like almost crazy to think that something like that could actually exist. But having been a student of law of attraction for so long, I thought, like, if I'm already desiring it, I know it's possible. And so, sure enough, I'm scrolling through Instagram, looking through those, like just looking through my feed. And one of those ads showed up, about being able to work from your phone from anywhere in the world. But it also mentioned the sustainability, helping the planet and helping people be healthy. So I'm like, Okay, universe, I see you. I'm listening. It's weird that I'm doing this through an Instagram ad, but let me finally click one of these things. Let me see how far I can go with it. And the woman, Destiny, she's a single mama, a surfer, a diver like me on Maui, because I also am PADI certified. And I was like, okay, her name is Destiny too. Like, I hear you, universe. I have to jump and do this. And I spent the last of my savings on the Anespa. That's how I got started. Our amazing shower filtration system. And it was
Wow, that's beautiful. That's so
Yeah, it's funny because I
cool.
needed the money and I didn't think I needed the water because as a raw foodist, I'm drinking electric living reduced water all the time, structured water in the plants. I just get it, by juicing it. However, and also once I started drinking the water, I was like, thank God. And once I started learning about and really accepting that the business that I had said no to because I didn't think that any machine could do what nature does better, I realized that springs are actually polluted because I was collecting spring water and the water dies after being bottled for 3 days. My eyes kind of opened to the fact that even I need this water because I still drink water. It's not like I drink juice all the time and that could be really expensive. So once I had it ordered, I could not get the water fast enough. I couldn't get it hooked up fast enough. I was so excited. And sure enough, that first sip is unlike anything. I'll always remember it.
It's mine. It's all mine. Yes.
And I feel so good already, like instantly. It's like every sip, every time I take a sip, you feel really just recharged. And it's just like magic is real. I fully embrace it.
Well, what about the all the organic food that you juice or you eat? Um, did you see a lot of like when you soak it in,
The
the 11.5?
11.5. You know
Do you
what's
see?
wild? As an organic farmer, it hadn't really occurred to me. I was using baking soda and vinegar to clean the produce that I was buying because even though I do buy completely organic, I know that pesticides are used in all agriculture, at least
And
some.
it's also, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, like it's the chemicals are all around us. I
In
mean,
the
like
air.
there's someone that owns a an all natural pet food store, but he also makes supplements for people and animals, and
Ooh,
raw food diet, like like raw food for the dogs, and it's a pet deli. It's literally a pet deli. Like
really?
he grinds up the all the different kinds of meats and adds you know bones and hearts and gizzards and like everything. And so he's been researching and been doing this for 30 plus years. So he said that there's like 80,000 chemicals just airborne in the air that
Ugh,
we don't even know. We can't even see. We have no clue what's in the air, but all
yeah.
of that is just being like sedimented down onto the organic food. You
That's
know.
right. It just everything that they spray in the air that's just circulating in the air, it does. It just all percolates down to the crops, the trees, the grass, everywhere. It's everywhere. So yeah, I was so excited. That was another major thing that I was looking forward to using the machine for was cleaning my fruits and vegetables. And I got to tell you, the organic produce actually comes out I'll say looking dirtier because the oil-based pesticides that they're using are darker. I believe because the conventional farms are catching on to what we're doing and realizing like our stuff shows up because I've seen people wash conventional tomatoes and all this dark oil-based whatever comes off, but I think that maybe they're starting to use more like I think dioxins are clear, and so there are clear pesticides too. And so it's just like you said, anything. We do want to clean anything and everything before we eat it and put it into our sacred vessels because you never know. But to see it actually come off of the organic produce more so than with the vinegar and baking soda that I was using, it's super impressive because it happens right away. And then if you leave it for even longer, it happens even more. And so it's it's such a big relief to have that too, to know that I'm that much safer. So definitely big return on investment there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. How long have you been like raw and are you vegan or like vegetarian? Like
I
what?
used to kind of tell people that, but I don't really subscribe to any labels, especially because I eat honey. And I've had other vegans tell me, like, that's not vegan. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to support like good farms who are supporting the life of the bees and the harmony of the bees because we need them. And not just trying to do that, but I love honey and I appreciate how good it is for us. So I'm a
Me too.
and I buy like the raw meats for my dogs, so I can't make any claims to labels other than yes, I consume raw, living, whole plant-based foods as often as I want, and I love it. For the last so in 2009, I dove in hardcore, full on, 100% for about 5 years, and because I went cold turkey like that, there was definitely a little bit of a yo-yo effect because I realized how isolating it was and how much work it was, at least at first, to always be in the kitchen kind of making food until I learned to be like water fasting and juice cleansing and just smoothie bowls are just so amazing. And then just have a big salad at night. And then so after about 5 years, I kind of yo-yoed back into like the cooked plants and stuff like that. There were even years, I guess that was like 15 years ago now, and there have been years where I started eating eggs again, or like I went to Hawaii and we did some ocean kayak fishing, and I wasn't fishing, but I let them throw out a line for me, and my line caught a barracuda. And so I'm like, wow, I've always been so scared of barracudas. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we can take it back to the beach and cook it, on vacation. You got to live your life. And so I ate and tasted the barracuda. I did that actually in Peru too. We went to the Amazon class field trip, they call it. And I didn't fish again, but they caught all these piranha. And I'm like, when am I going to get the chance to try this again? They caught them anyways. And so they were leaving the dining hall and there was this plate of piranha stacked up. And I'm like, I'm just going to try it. I'm here. And so I tried that, things like that. I'm not like closed minded and I don't judge people for or condemn anyone for how they choose to live their life. I know what works for me and I do promote people doing what works for them. I just find that this has been the best thing ever, and so 15 years later, I'm full on again, 100% raw. Things like maple syrup I will eat because that's obviously not raw; it's boiled down, but it's super good for you. Things like cashews, I still haven't made the dive into completely like pine nuts or macadamia nuts. I think you actually can get raw, but cashews are like I don't want to say pasteurized, but they like steam them to peel the skins off of them. But I don't get crazy because that's not a healthy thing to do either.
Right. Right. Nice. Very cool. And I mean, like, it's also just listening to your body. Listening to your body, and if your body is craving something, then just allow it.
Allow it.
Allow what you're craving, or what you think your body needs, or
Part of like we say, diet or what we consume, in terms of like energy, because food is energy. And so other forms of food are like giving ourselves grace. It's such a soul nourishing thing to just be gentle and loving with ourselves. Been part of my last few years is learning how to do that. And I gotta say, it's right up there with changing like the actual food that you eat, if not more so. It's like it's such a like up there root of who we are thing. Like the actual food is on a physical level, definitely super important. But to start just like having a harmonious frequency is definitely major. I mean, I wish for everybody, I encourage for everybody, and Definitely enjoy seeing people step into that more and more these days.
Yes, definitely. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so very much for being on and sharing your experiences and
Absolutely, what a treat.
and you've only been using the water for a short amount of time, but you've gotten so many benefits from it for just within just a couple of months. It's beautiful. It's
Truly.
definitely beautiful. So yay. So and what social media platforms are you on?
I am on Instagram, Rainbow Waterer. So instead of a rainbow warrior, I'm a rainbow waterer. And I am on Facebook. I have Wake of the Flood is just a community page I got started. And then Amanda X Brock, the way you see my name spelled there is how you'll find my personal profile or my business page.
Perfect. All right. Excellent. So go check her out and
Yeah.
we're all about the water. So thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Dog Mystic, and I'm willing you the best rest of your day ever and sending you frequencies of love and gratitude on perpetual overlay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, wherever you're tuning in from, thank you so much and have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you tune in from. See you later.
Cheers.
And check me out on either Facebook, Sherry A. Marquez, or the Dog Mystic Dog Training, or on YouTube is the Dog Mystic. So like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out thedogmystic.com. But all the information is linked below, so check it out.